Feel each blade against your skin. Grounding yourself in the grass, feel each blade against your skin, the soil beneath you, and the refreshing feeling of a cold sensation. Take some time to think about the nature below you. All of the insects living in the soil, the organisms that rely on the chemicals released by the plants, and the cycle that continues to function because of an ecosystem that's evolved and been perfected over billions of years. When was the last time you were barefoot in the grass? The last time you went for a walk without your phone? When was the last time you noticed the leaves on the trees or sat and listened to the rain? Rather than taking a pretty picture of the sunset to post on your Visco, did you take some time to notice the placement of the plants or the colors around you? With phones in our pockets and computers at our disposal, society has become reliant on screens and technology. Finding joy in media and constant consumption, we're slowly losing the grounding from beneath us. Finding value in the material, we've begun undervaluing significant aspects, such as nature and connections. The value that's held within relationships is something that holds a lot of power, and the lack of connection between people and nature has taken a toll on not only ourselves, but the world around us. But there's lots of optimism that our generation will be able to learn from the past for a brighter future, and I hope to open your eyes to the importance of the environment and help you find value in the connection with nature, which I've been researching all my life. From September to December last year, I went to the traveling school. Through 5 states in 15 weeks, with 9 other girls and 4 teachers, we grew an understanding of ourselves and the land we were experiencing as we traveled through the western U.S. We saw a change in the political climate, environmental details, and societal norms as we traveled through national parks and indigenous reservations throughout the states. It was in these 105 days that I felt most divine and balanced and was able to truly experience the present without influence from my phone or outside noise. So many crucial moments for my learning and personal growth journey were on this trip, and I was able to cultivate so many life skills that I would later translate back into my home life. We learned so much in our outdoor classroom, but more importantly, we learned because of our outdoor classroom. This experience helped me realize that having a genuine relationship with nature and learning from the landscape around me is possible. It's when we root ourselves within the natural world that countless aspects of our lives will be brought to clarity, and there will be a greater feeling of balance within ourselves and the world around us. However, in the 19th century, before the endless possibilities, someone in a little town in Massachusetts discovered this relationship, which he would later reference to be the most important one known to man. In the 1840s, Henry David Thoreau spent 2 years at Walden Pond in Massachusetts. While there, Thoreau refused to pay taxes as a protest against the U.S. government's involvement in the Mexican-American War. His individualist statement was not only unordinary, but it was also unique. With this new independent perspective, Thoreau would write Walden, where he discussed his latest thoughts on nature and solitude. Discovering this concept, leader Henry David Thoreau, alongside others such as Ralph Waldo Emerson, Walt Whitman, and many more, spread transcendentalist ideals amongst scholars and leaders. Finding peace in nature, transcendentalism believes that people will be able to center with their most divine selves, transcending above all else and finding inner peace. Combining various concepts such as political motives, literary values, and religious ideals, these revolutionaries spread the possibilities of difference within our world. Fresh from the Industrial Revolution, followers of the Transcendental movement understood that there was a value within the great outdoors and it wasn't something to be overlooked. They felt the grass between their toes and chose to never put their shoes back on. Making the choice to ground themselves in the soil beneath them, they observed their surroundings for the sake of noticing and appreciating. As expected, this philosophical way of thinking became controversial quickly, with competing opinions about the government going head-to-head, as the radical side of this political theory didn't seem feasible to everyone, since the world can't run on reform movements. The extreme side of transcendentalism, like living in the woods for years on end, falling off the face of the earth, and disregarding the government and taxes, wasn't exactly possible for the entirety of society at the time. Transcendentalism has since become a more underlying philosophical concept. With roots in philosophies such as free thought and individual independence, transcendentalism has since been sprinkled through modern media and everyday life. In our TV shows, apps, and songs, transcendentalism has become a concept that we don't even acknowledge to be extremely prevalent in our everyday lives. Movies, such as Avatar and Dead Poet Society, work to modernize and bring concepts such as individuality and difference within our world, which stem from the leaders of the transcendental movement. Leaders like Thoreau and Emerson listened to Lord Byron when he wrote, "There is a pleasure in the pathless woods, there is a rapture on the lonely shore. There is society where none intrudes, by the deep sea and music in its roar. I love not man the less, but nature more." Finding the value in the pathless woods, these revolutionaries spread their discoveries through literature with the hopes for the eventual translation into our everyday lives. In today's world, technology surrounds every aspect of our day-to-day interactions, from how we receive news to how we talk to friends. With current technology, the possibilities of relationships know no bounds. With Snapchat connecting us across the country with people we may not even know, and Instagram keeping us up to date with people we may regret knowing, the idea of relationships has expanded past anything that could have ever been predicted. Although it's known that technology is having drastic effects on our generation's mental health, beginning to affect us from a young age. The peace and clarity that's found within nature has become overlooked, as we'd prefer romanticizing the bloomed azaleas on our Instagram than going for a walk and noticing the detailed complexities within the flowers as they cluster closely and abundantly in the beautiful cycle that nature has perfected long before our time. Yet somehow, in the 4.5 billion years that the world has existed, it's only taken humankind a few hundred years to overpopulate, burn fossil fuels, pollute everything around us, and cut ecosystems into a fraction of what they once were, replacing them with factories and suburbia. The dreadful damage that's being done to the natural world is primarily because of society's disconnect from nature and the world around us. As our lives continue to gain more materials and people tent outside the Apple store for the next iPhone rather than in the forest, our generation and society as a whole are quickly losing the relationship with nature, making it easier for us to burn fossil fuels day and night without feeling remorse or understanding the severity of every tank of gas, as polar bears are dying of starvation in the Arctic because of the heat from oil drilling and the drastic rate at which the ice is melting. It's when we go camping, spend a day without our phones, and experience the moments around us that there will be more considerable care in and for the world. When that happens, our remorse will be strong enough to spark action, and we will be able to continue to feel our feet in the grass, as there have been countless scientific studies that have proven that such a simple act can help lower blood pressure, fight off depression, and even, in some cases, prevent cancer. As students, educators, and tenants of this beautiful earth, it's our responsibility and privilege to work to constantly improve ourselves and the world around us. The relationship between humankind and nature is one of give and take, and it's our turn to give back while we still can to the world that has given us so much. All I ask is this: go outside, breathe in the fresh air, and make sure you feel your feet in the grass. Look at the world around you. Consider all that it's given and find within you the strength and motivation to help and give back. Think of all that you have because of Mother Nature and consider the difficult position that we've led her to. We have only 12 years until global temperatures reach an irreversible tipping point, taking us past the point of no return and leaving the Earth to never truly recover from our footprint. It takes a village and it takes a voice. Watch the way the leaves sway in the wind and glisten in the sun, and consider climbing the tree.